Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Hello and good afternoon, friends. Welcome back to the latest episode of Musical Musings, airing every Wednesday at 1 p.m. This program is broadcast from Rajamangala University of Technology, Peranakan. This program comes to you in two parts. The first part will introduce a song and discuss its main themes, its main ideas, well, what the song is all about. Then we'll listen to the song and we will analyze the lyrics. We're going to look especially at any kinds of difficult vocabulary words, slang, idioms. An idiom is like a saying where we use words that don't really mean exactly what those words would mean. So we're going to look at anything like that may be hard to understand. Then we'll have news and the latest updates from the university.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome, everyone. This is Gary Gray, your host for Musical Musings. I'm from America, and I'm an English teacher at Rajamangala University of Technology, Peranakan. If this is your first time joining us, we go through one song every episode and examine the English within it, to make sure folks for whom English is not their native language can understand it. And it's not just understanding difficult vocabulary words. We will do that. But English also has a lot of sayings where the meaning isn't precisely what the words say. For example, when we get to today's song, in the first verse, we'll hear the singer say that they have a star. How do you have a star? No one has a star. You cannot grab a star out of the sky and put it in your pocket. So what in the world is he talking about here? Okay, we'll answer that a little later on when we get to the song. But that's the type of thing we look at on this program. Now, as for today's song, we're going to be looking at a song called America. It's sung by a singer named Neil Diamond. There are several songs with that same name. We're doing the one by Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond is a very interesting singer because it's hard to even say what genre of music he sings. That's not to say it's some unique genre. Singers you might have heard of, like Frank Sinatra and Barbra Streisand, sing the same style of songs. I guess they just fall under the category of pop music. However, it's not like the type of modern music you'd expect when someone says pop music today. It's more like 1960s pop music, but it is still popular today. In fact, I myself have seen Neil Diamond in concert. I saw him about a decade ago, and he filled up the entire sports stadium. Neil Diamond has only just stopped performing live. I believe I just heard a story within the past few weeks that it was due to health issues. Not sure about that, but I think that's the case. So he has just stopped touring. Anyway, my point is that this style of music remains popular today. And Neil Diamond has many very popular songs. The song we're doing today is probably among his most famous few, but there are a lot. In fact, you might have even heard one of them. If you follow sports, it's possible, depending on what sport or what team you follow, that you might have heard the song Sweet Caroline. That song is played by several sports teams at their games. Okay. So how about today's song? It's simply called America, like I said, but what's it about? The basic idea for this song is quite simple. As you may know, lots of folks around the world, they kind of view America as a place to go if you want to find some new opportunities and be successful. This has maybe changed a little bit over the past few decades. Some people now might prefer to go to Europe, for example. Or with the global economy becoming so interconnected, some folks probably believe they can just find success right where they live. They don't need to move anywhere. Also, because of some political issues, some people might find America to be a little less inviting and attractive than it once was. Still, many people do have a dream to move to America, and that's really what this song is about. This is somewhat of a personal song for Neil Diamond, although he was born in America. He was actually born in New York. But all 4 of his grandparents were immigrants to America. They all came from Eastern Europe. And the types of work they did were pretty typical for immigrants from Eastern Europe. My own family history, I have some immigrants from Eastern Europe, and they kind of did the same typical work. They were tailors, that's people that make clothes. So Neil Diamond's family story is a very standard story of immigrants going to America to try to fulfill their dreams and find success. And you can also see why Neil would want to sing about this. Just look at him. He's only 2 generations from his immigrant ancestors, his grandparents. And look at how successful Neil was. He's a huge musical superstar who's famous, has made millions of dollars. He's known around the world. This success would not have been possible if he grew up in Eastern Europe. His poor family would likely need Neil, to go to work to help support the family. He never would have had the free time or the opportunity to pursue his music career. His massive success is entirely due to his grandparents moving to America. So Neil has a deep appreciation for that. And that's why he performs this song. It's very personal to him. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to this song. And for those of you listening on radio or streaming, the song will start in just a moment. For those listening online via YouTube, I apologize that copyright issues prevent us from embedding the video. But you should see a link in the upper right corner. You can just click on that link to jump to the song, and then just come back here for the rest of the program when the song's done. And we'll go over the song and the lyrics, and we'll see what they mean. All right, so here's the song.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome back to the program. So now we'll take a look at the lyrics of the song America, and we will analyze what they mean. Let's jump right into it. The song starts with far, we've been traveling far, without a home, but not without a star. Okay, so for Neil Diamond, his family came to America by ship. The ride from Europe to America took a pretty long time. And once you leave Europe, that's it. You've left your home. Very few people actually go back. Sometimes, but very few. So they're traveling far without a home, as the song says. But what about when it says, but not without a star? This is a reference to using stars to know where you're going, like they used to have to do on ships. So what that line means is that they feel okay. Even though they're traveling far, they have no home, they have a destination, and they're excited about it. They know where they're going. They're excited about heading to America. The song continues, free, only want to be free, we huddle close, hang on to a dream. Freedom is another thing that people go to America for. For example, there are laws here in Thailand that prevent you from talking about certain things. There are no laws like that in America. They have freedom of speech. When it says we huddle close, hang on to a dream, to huddle up means when you're all holding on to each other closely, usually to try to stay warm. These ocean journeys across the Atlantic Ocean were usually very cold. So they're all huddled up tightly together and just keeping their mind thinking about the dreams ahead of them in America. We continue on. On the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America. Never looking back again, they're coming to America. All right, there's nothing really confusing there. But when it says they never look back, that's generally true. We mentioned that before, earlier in the song. And that's what makes these stories so amazing, though. Think about leaving everything and everyone behind and possibly never going back again. Even I cannot imagine that. Yes, I've moved to a new country, living here in Thailand. But I've been back a few times, and I can go back. It's not always easy. During COVID, I couldn't go back. It's also very expensive, but I can go back. Immigrating to America is really a big deal for a lot of these people and their families. The song goes on. Home, don't it seem so far away? Oh, we're traveling light today, in the eye of the storm, in the eye of the storm. Okay, so traveling light, what does that mean? Traveling light means that you're not bringing much with you. That's what most of these people going to America did. They had very little stuff that they could take with them. They arrived in America with almost nothing. And as for being in the eye of the storm, honestly, I'm not even 100% sure what Neil Diamond means here, but it could be that this is a crazy, wild time for someone. Moving to another country is huge, so it's like this big storm around you. But they're at peace knowing where they're going. That's the eye of the storm. What the eye of a storm specifically is, what it literally means, the eye of the storm is that calm spot you see in the center of a typhoon. Like maybe you see satellite pictures of a typhoon. You see the open circle in the middle of it. That's called the eye. It's very calm in there. So it's the calm spot in the center of a typhoon. That's the eye of the storm. All right, we continue. Home, to a new and a shiny place. Make our bed and we'll say our grace. Freedom's light burning warm. Freedom's light burning warm. Okay, calling America a shiny place really just means it's a new place for them. And it's very hopeful. So it looks new and bright and shiny. And they're looking forward to having a home there. So they can make their bed and say their prayers. That's what say our grace means. It means to say their prayers. And that freedom makes you warm inside. Freedom's light burning warm. And it probably really does make him warm inside because this touches on religion, which is also a big deal for Neil Diamond. You see, Neil Diamond is Jewish, and his family came from Eastern Europe, where they really were not very welcomed. Remember that 5 million Jews were killed in Eastern Europe during World War II. There's definitely still some racism and bad people in America, of course, but it's mostly free and welcoming to people of any religion. So this sort of freedom is very important to Neil Diamond and his whole family. Next in the song, we get the section, Everywhere around the world, they're coming to America. Every time that flag's unfurled, they're coming to America. Got a dream to take them there, they're coming to America. Got a dream they've come to share, they're coming to America. All right, this section is pretty easy to understand. First, it basically just says that people come from all around the world. That's true. Anyone from any country is welcome. And while, like I said before, there are still some bad, racist people in America, you find that everywhere. Anywhere in the world, there's going to be some bad people. Most Americans will welcome anyone gladly. Since 9/11, America has maybe become a little less welcoming to some from the Middle East, but mostly America is very welcoming to anyone from around the world. Then it talks about the flag. America tends to be a very patriotic country. They love to wave their flag around, and a lot of people in other parts of the world think that's just weird. What is wrong with you crazy Americans waving that flag around? But there's actually a reason for it. And a reason why it's a big deal for immigrants, so they include it in the song. It's because It's because America's very existence is about America. What does that mean? That sounds like that's a meaningless sentence. What does that mean? Well, most countries around the world, they're kind of held together by common ethnicities or common religions. For example, most people here in Thailand are ethnically Thai. And their religion is Buddhism. Well, again, most of them. Of course, we have quite a few Muslims and a few Christians here, but it's mostly Buddhist. They all also speak the same language. Everyone speaks Thai. In America, while most people do speak English, like me, it's not required. There's no national language. Every religion and every ethnicity is welcome. So our commonality is the principle of America itself, bringing everyone together. We even have a national motto, E pluribus unum. That's Latin, and it means out of many, one. So many different people all together to make up one country. So yes, the flag is a big deal in America, because America is what makes America, if you understand what I mean by that now. And so patriotism is kind of like what brings the whole country together. We don't have a common language. We don't have a common ethnicity. We don't have a common religion. And that's actually the point. It's everyone coming together. Okay, back to our song. This section then ends with talking about their dreams. First, it says that's what takes them there. Then it says they want to share their dreams. Okay, after this, the song then repeats several times. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. And then today. And why does he keep saying today? Well, that's to indicate that this continues. People are still coming to America. As I said in the first part of our program, this is a little less common now, as America is a little less appealing to a lot of people. But even still, compared to the rest of the world, America remains a place that a lot of folks want to live. So yes, people are still coming to America today. The song then goes on to a segment which is almost just spoken. And it's quite interesting that Neil Diamond decides to basically speak this section. The reason it's interesting is because he's quoting another song. So here's a singer including another song within his song, and yet it's kind of just spoken. He just speaks it. Okay, so this part of the song goes, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing, of thee I sing." This comes from an old song, which you can tell from the use of the words "tis" and "thee." "Tis" is just short for "it is," and "thee" just means you. So this is saying that the country is the land of liberty. Liberty means freedom. So he's saying this is his country, as he says, my country, and he's saying it's all about freedom. And that's why he's singing about America, of thee I sing. This song is a very old patriotic hymn, and its name is actually in the first line, if you want to listen to it sometime. It's called "My Country, 'Tis of Thee." So again, it's very interesting to hear Neil Diamond basically just speak the song within his song. Okay, the song then just ends repeating the word "today," emphasizing that America continues to be a popular destination for people around the world who are seeking freedom and opportunity. All right, friends, that is it for today's song, America. I encourage you to check out more songs by Neil Diamond. His first name is spelled N-E-I-L. That's important to know if you want to look him up, because there are a few different ways to spell the name Neil. So again, that's N-E-I-L. And his last name, Diamond, is spelled exactly as it sounds, like the gemstone, diamond. And interestingly, just so you know, that's actually his real name. Most singers have these fake names that they use, and with a last name like Diamond, you would probably expect that to be a fake name. Nope. His father's last name was Diamond. That is his real name, Neil Diamond. Okay, so he's got so many great songs worth listening to. America is one of my favorites, but there are so many great ones. I already mentioned earlier the song Sweet Caroline. Other great songs you might want to look up are Cracklin' Rosie, Forever in Blue Jeans, September Morn, Love on the Rocks, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, I Am, I Said, and like I said, there's many more. There's many more. I only read off some of the most popular ones. He's really a great singer. And if you love music, and I think you do if you're listening to this, you won't regret checking out more music by Neil Diamond. All right, let's take a short break, and then we'll get to the RMUTP news.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Thanks for joining us today for today's Musical Musings program. Please stay with us, and make sure you tune back in next week for another great song. And don't forget, subscribe to our channel.
Musical